All right. I think we are live. Could somebody in the chat please confirm if they can see and hear us?
Feels like the stream will start in a sec because YouTube's so goddamn slow at the moment. There it is. Yeah, we're live.
Okay. All right. So, guys, first of all, thanks to both Alex and Peanut for joining. Basically, for those who are watching that are not aware of what's going on, yesterday afternoon, or well, it was afternoon for me, Cupcake Vegan retweeted a picture of WhoIsShe, which showed her face. Now, the picture came from Kiwi Farms, and apparently the WhoIsShe accidentally turned on her front-facing camera before going to a live stream, and somebody screen grabbed it. So Cupcake retweeted it, and she didn't necessarily say anything negative. She just wondered why, what's her name, WhoIsShe, didn't show her picture. Now, there's two things we would like to discuss here. Well, I would like to discuss. It's like, one is the issue of doxing and whether or not it's a dox. And I think there's some different opinions here. And two is there was a lot of contention online that what Cupcake did could have, it's the insinuation was that WhoIsShe isn't attractive, is not a good looking woman, etc. Besides that point, sorry?
No, I laughed. My bad.
oh, sorry. So basically, my point with that is that even if she did, agreed, it's potentially a bit of a dickish move to do. However, from my standpoint, being a commentator, a reaction channel, I find it hypocritical within our community how people are willing to dish out negative remarks to people's physiques and appearances. However, they can't take it when it comes that way. I should establish that WhoIsShe, I don't think got involved in this whatsoever. It's more other people that jumped on it. But yeah, those are the two things I basically want to try and understand. From my point of view, I don't think it is a dox because the woman turned on the front-facing camera by accident and a picture got taken. I don't think that's a dox as per the terminology, but I could be wrong. So I'm happy to discuss that further with you guys.
Let me just say my opinion because it's similar, but not exactly the same. I think not only do I think that what Cupcake Vegan did wasn't a dox, but I also think that it was necessary because of the type of content that WhoIsShe was making, and because she personally decided to lie about herself and her own size for what reason I'll never understand. But when somebody is moving about in a space like that, I think it's necessary for when people become aware of that, for it to be shared and for it to be exposed. So that's how I feel about it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, first and foremost, Cupcake Vegan went over to Kiwi Farms, grabbed the screenshot, didn't retweet it. She then posted it as a tweet. It wasn't a retweet.
Sorry.
And I don't believe I ever actually accused her of doxing. What I accused her of doing is spreading a part of her dox. The dox, as is my definition, as I imagine many people from the community that I came from originally would probably agree with me, is your face if you choose to have anonymity, when many people do, for very obvious reasons. There is such a thing as doxing and swatting, which is incredibly dangerous. And not to mention, if someone could turn up at your fucking house, you never know. Now, I realize that your face being exposed isn't quite the same as your address being exposed.
But wait, do you not?
Let me finish.
I'm sorry.
Let me finish. I know I'm waffling, but let me finish. She posted her face. She brought further attention to it. Now, I was at that live stream where she did it. And I turned up to her DMs and I said, fucking delete that live stream now. You just showed your face. And unfortunately, someone did grab the screenshot before she was able to do that. And they posted it on Kiwi Farms. Now, you can't be doxed twice. Your face is a part of your overall dox. Things like your address, where you work, your face if you choose to not show your face through anonymity, which I believe is everyone's right on the internet. And quite frankly, I don't give a shit if you choose to have an avatar and you choose to make fun of somebody's personal looks. I don't care about that. What she did do was bring a further attention to it. And then she lied. And then she doubled down after having it explained to her. Well,
how?
What do you mean how?
Because I wasn't aware of this. You got to tell me how, what she said. What do you mean by double down? And what was she wrong about? What was she wrong about?
She doubled down on her arguments. You know, she was just like, well, why should she be I'm fucking, I can't get my words out now. Anonymous. Okay. Why should she be anonymous? And we tried, like, loads of people explained to her in, you know, various different ways.
I don't think that was her argument. I think her argument.
That was her argument.
Her
I
argument.
can assure you with that.
Her argument was, why should she be anonymous?
Can I just pose like a different question here? Because the problem that I'm having is around the whole that people are saying that the Cupcake Vegan was spreading a picture that she shouldn't have spread. But if the woman turned on her camera by herself by going on a live stream, then nobody is at fault by herself, right? So if I take a picture of my desk, right, and it has my address on it, yeah, okay, nobody else should share it, but I put it out there for other, unless I'm missing something. But if I put something out there for other people to see, then I don't like it's. Whether or not it gets shared, if you want to be anonymous, that's absolutely fine. But she's the one that turned on the camera to herself. So that's where I'm getting lost in this debate about. Look, whether what Cupcake did is nice or not, that's a different discussion. The discussion is that WhoIsShe turned on the camera and went live. So where
and she chose to cover it up for the majority of the stream, and whatever was covering it up fell off, unfortunately for her.
Yes. Okay. Alex, I have a question for you specifically. Because this is how I feel. This is why and how I feel Vegan did this. If I assume that you cherish and you respect your audience and you're very grateful for them. If you felt somebody was being a bad actor and they had exposed themselves, would you not share that with your audience? Because I sure would.
It's not the same thing.
I owe it to my audience to be honest.
It's not the same thing. That is a false equivalence, Peanut. Come on.
No, how is that a false equivalence?
Because it is absolutely a false equivalence. Why did Cupcake Vegan do it?
Because this person is clearly a liar and clearly is a hypocrite and is not being honest with their audience or any of the other creators that they've been speaking to. When you come on camera and your entire channel is criticizing the morbidly obese, and you will blatantly say, oh, I'm skinny, and my husband is so skinny too. If that does not make you question someone's character and therefore every other thing out of their mouth, I don't understand why not. Truly.
See, I can't comment on this because I've never seen any of WhoIsShe's content.
Oh dear.
It's not the weight is not the issue. It's because of the content she chooses to make. If she was making political videos, her weight wouldn't matter. But it's about the type of content. Do you not understand like the gravity of that? And who it makes her, what it makes her, that should be shared. And I would hope that if you or any other creator came across something like that, I would hope they would share it. Absolutely. Like, it boggles my mind how people don't understand this. A liar is a liar is a liar. Why? This person made a mistake. Obviously, their identity wasn't important enough to hide, to make sure that their camera was covered. It was their mistake. And now you have to look at the consequences of said mistake. And the fact
I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to hide who you are, but then equally you do need to make sure that you take the necessary precautions. And then if you get outed, I think in general, that if you put yourself out there criticizing other people on their appearance, you should be willing to accept the criticism back. It's a dickish thing to do, but the way I see it, just because it's somebody within your community or within your circle of friends, why is it okay for one person to say you're ugly, but it's not okay for another person to say it because they're your friends and they're your acquaintance? Like, does it make it right or wrong? Like, that's subjective, right? But at the end of the day, I get lost in the hypocrisy of people getting their feelings about being told things that they don't like to hear. And now, in her WhoIsShe's defense, I don't think she was involved in this whatsoever. I didn't see her in the tweets, but a lot of people were making the argument. And yes, I think Cupcake did do a bit of a shitty thing there. I do think it is unnecessary, but I don't see how it is different from me calling out somebody else for being fast.
Yes, can I add to your point? Can I add to your point a little bit? Because the fact is all of us sitting here right now, if this was done to Amberlynn, Chantel, Amy, Jen, any of the Beheem fucking team, every single buddy and their mother would be all over it, and nobody would be defending if it was right or wrong. It would just be discussed and talked about forevermore. That is the hypocrisy. That is serious.
It's irrelevant.
Standard.
All of that, every single one of those points that you both just said are completely and utterly irrelevant.
Why?
Do you know why they are? Because the spreading of someone's docs, the act of doxing, completely supersedes hypocrisy.
But that's not.
Yeah, but she put it out there herself, though. If you're going to go on live, you have like a little sticker in front of you.
Okay, but it was an accident. You know, listen, right? I once accidentally doxed myself, right? And if you went back to my live stream and screenshotted it and then proceeded to spread it, you were then putting my family and my life further in danger. Right? That's what the purpose of doxing is. It is a absolutely, unequivocally scumbag fucking move. And if you spread someone's docs, I'm going to shit all over you. I don't care who you are, how many subs you fucking have. I don't care what your arguments are. It supersedes every. Let me fucking fit a peanut. You stop. We said this, didn't we, in the DMs?
I just don't understand how her face is.
It doesn't matter. It's her face. It's a part of her anonymity. End of discussion.
Okay, but how could that endanger her or her family? I don't understand. That is not the definition.
Right. What is Google reverse image search?
Yeah, but that would have to be an
That's
image.
how people get
doxed. Yeah, listen, if you choose to put yourself online, that's a risk you take, though.
It would not exist because it was just a live stream and she's wiped it off the internet. That is a piss poor excuse. You could not reverse image search that. The image would have to exist otherwise. You can't just find it. It's an FBI software. It's not going to find any picture of her face ever that existed.
It's not about like for me. It's not even about that. It's like for me, there's two things. Like she should have taken a better precaution herself, right? At the end of the day, if you're going to come on the internet and you want to remain anonymous, you need to make sure your setup is a lot more secure than that. Okay, it's not cool for somebody to spread it, but you have some onus and responsibility. And second of all, what else was I going to say? Oh, Jesus Christ, I've lost my train of thought now. Oh, it doesn't matter. I was going to say something else. I'll come back to it. I've forgotten now. Oh yeah, I was going to say about basically if you choose to put yourself online, whether that's anonymous or not, it's a risk you're taking, right? Whether it's acceptable or not for somebody else to potentially find out who you are, it could happen. There is probably information of me out there that somebody could potentially find. It's not cool, but then I've put it, whatever I put into the sphere, I'm not saying it's fair game for people to take, because it isn't, but I think there is, I definitely see what you're saying, Alex. I get it, but I don't think it's quite that black and white because of the fact that
Alona, is that just you?
I think it's her, yeah.
Okay, there's something going on with either your mic or something. So, that's why. Stop hitting it. I think you keep hitting it and it's making you go in and out. Maybe put it on your front chest. Like put it in your cleavage area. So you're not rubbing your arm on it, you know?
Hold on, let me put it down. Is that better?
Yes, very much better. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm very animated when I talk.
So
do I need to?
What?
No, go ahead.
No, I think the main issue that we are disagreeing on here is that Alex just considers it a dox, no matter whose fault it is, because
Wrong.
Peanut.
I consider it a spreading of doxing.
You what?
There's a difference between doxing and the spreading of doxing.
Okay.
Or spreading of doxes.
I don't understand why you consider just a facial shot doxing. Maybe it's fucked up. Maybe we can say.
I agree. No, I agree that sharing somebody's picture, if they want to remain anonymous, would be considered a dox. However, what I disagree is that she, by her own fault, doxed herself. That's where that's where my position stands. Like, I agree with what Alex is saying. However, if you want to remain anonymous and that's so precious to you, then you need to make sure your setup is better than putting a sticker on your phone and it falling off. That's just my opinion. She fucked herself over. That's just the way I stand on it. Like,
no, I agree too there. I absolutely agree.
That's just my opinion. Like, if your anonymity is that precious, then you need to take the utmost precautions to make sure it remains anonymous. And she fucked up there. Now, it's not cool for somebody else to then take a screenshot and repost it. And like, I agree. I've said to Cupcake, I've spoken to her. And by the way, guys, like, she's not in a fucking good place. You might think that's good or not, whatever. I can assure you, she's not in a good place. And I've said to her, that's not. I don't think what she did. I don't think it was appropriate.
It wasn't out of malice. Now that's another point. If you look up the definition of doxing, it is something that is done with malice, which is not what she was doing. Not in my opinion. I think she was educating her audience to the nature of this hypocritical, lying individual who doxed themselves. So, for that specific fact, I certainly don't consider what she did doxing. I consider what she did. That's what you should do. That's what a creator should do. I think she showed integrity, and that's the kind of creator that I want to watch. Seriously.
I can't argue against your point about her being a hypocrite because I've never seen her content.
Nobody did. See, that is the fun.
I've never seen her content either. So.
I didn't know who she was until this happened, until Jen decided to false flag her.
Which I like as a separate thing, I think is really irresponsible of all the other creators to then suddenly say, go and sub to somebody if you don't know what this person stands for. That's just my personal opinion. If you've watched their content and you believe in what somebody's saying, great. But again, we have to remember we do have an influence. Therefore, don't just go ahead and
yes. Do you want to know what I felt like
what they've said.
Do you want to know what I felt like it was? Which happens a lot in this community. I think it was more about the fuck you to Jen. Like, you know what? You think you're going to silence this creator? No. We're going to show you that regardless of who this person is and their character and the content that they were making, we're going to make this channel larger so that she cannot be silenced by your false flagging. I think that was more the intent. And that is very representative of a lot of the issues that come with this community. And I don't know how anybody could argue with that. It is so crazy. Oh my God, please tell me somebody understands what I'm saying here. Do you, Alex, do you understand? Can you see why?
I lack perspective, Peanut. That's the thing. I lack perspective. This is the issue I had when I did my video on this. And I said it in the video. I said, I've not seen WhoIsShe's content. I didn't know who she was.
But that's my point. But that's the point that Alona just made, and that's the point that I'm making also. It's a problem when creators will do whatever they can to just fuck you to Jen and promote somebody who is, because I am familiar with this person's content, and she was dangerous, she was disgusting, and come to find out she was also a blatant hypocritical liar. So
I can't agree or deny that. I literally have never seen anything.
No, you don't have to.
Until the other day, but I just come from the perspective of me telling something to my audience. I'm not going to say, go and watch this person if I have no idea what their content is like, because I don't know what they're saying. So for all I know, they could be spreading misinformation, they could be spreading hate, they could be spreading opinions that I don't agree with. So therefore, it's irresponsible of me to go like, oh, well, follow her because Jen copyright struck her. Like, that's a whole different thing. But just the act in itself of saying sub to somebody because somebody else we don't like has struck their channel, I think that is somewhat irresponsible if you don't know what they stand for.
Absolutely. And
I suppose my hatred for false flaggers often supersedes my ability to research. Of course, to the absolute fucking spastic in the chat who just gave me shit for not doing research. You can't do research if the videos aren't there, dumbass. But no, many other people were choosing to provide support. I spoke to her in DMs before I made my video, and she seemed quite a nice individual. So I thought, fuck it. But don't think that I didn't criticize her in my video, because I did criticize her in my video. A lot of people seem to miss that. They seem to think that that was aimed at Jen. Nah, I criticize her as well for how she chose to handle herself.
Yeah, I don't understand. Did she even fight the DMCA strikes? You know what I think? I think she didn't even bother to fight them because she was too shook to give her information to do so.
To be honest, I don't think we should go. I don't think this is like a discussion we should have further, because WhoIsShe is not here to defend herself, and I don't think that would be fair. I think we should probably just stick more to her. Did she dox herself? And also, again, yeah, but it is like that, and I am still of the opinion that even though WhoIsShe didn't say anything about the tweet at the time, I don't know what's happened since. I'm still of the opinion that people within the community attacked Cupcake. Yes, I agree that what she did, it was a bit of a shitty move. However, she is allowed to have an opinion, right? There's no different from everybody else sitting there and calling somebody like Chantal a fat, ugly pig. That's no different. Just because it's somebody you like and you don't like, to me, I mean, it's not nice.
It's not even someone that they like. They were attacking Cupcake over someone they didn't even know. And that's where the problem lies for me. Because why would you go so hard? And Alex, you say it's because you're hard on doxing, although this is not quite doxing. Had she shared an address or any type of really information that could have endangered her, and if she had not shared it herself, maybe I could see it. But I don't understand. I don't understand. Alex, please.
We're going to keep going around in circles, Peanut, at this point. You know I'm never going to agree with you, so...
If you're not going to agree, then... Because I keep trying to turn it into a bigger conversation about the community. I mean...
I know you do, yeah.
You and I have talked privately in DMs, and you have said that you basically don't have a dog in this fight, but... I don't know if is that true, because it seems like you do. You know,
if you want to go ahead and start fucking throwing shade around, be my guest. We've already had our conversation regarding this.
No, I'm asking you, Alex, if it's an appropriate conversation to have with you. Like, do you have a differing opinion than I do and then Alona does? Is it just a redundant conversation to have? Do you feel the same way? Do you agree that there is severe hypocrisy in the community? There's a lot of pack mentality. There's a lot of sheep mentality.
Pack mentality.
And there's a lot of double standards that goes on that is so unhealthy that it all the time, it makes me take a step back and really feel bad about myself for having anything to do with this.
Pack mentality exists in every single community on YouTube. If you think that the political commentary genre that I came from wasn't cliquey as fuck, then you are mistaken. No,
but Alex, I think
they probably all are. On but my point, the thing that I have, my main point of contention is, I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong in what they're saying. My point is that if I'm allowed to call you ugly, you're allowed to call me ugly. Literally, that's the basics of it. It's nothing deeper than that. There's other things potentially, but that's not the discussion here. The discussion is, did WhoIsShe dox herself? In my opinion, she did, by being negligent with her equipment. That's her own fault, unfortunately. And yes, did Cupcake say something shitty? Yes. However, she's entitled to that opinion, whether you agree with it or not.
Let me use facts. Let me use facts and myself as an example to get a larger point across right now. And I'm going to direct this at you, Alex. Do you not, I mean, I'm going to guess no, you don't see a problem with it since you participated in it, but do you not see a problem with the fact that I made a video where I absolutely was not trying to convince anybody of anything, just sharing a very unpopular opinion about a fellow reactor, and that I was dogpiled, or tried to, let me say, for an opinion? For an opinion that wasn't even cruel, where I was sharing just the way I felt and why I felt it. Now, if you don't think that was absolutely hypocritical when said creator does what they do. Like, how thin can your skin get? And why did so many rally around them? I was not being cruel. I was not even trying to convince everybody of anything. And I'm not saying this to really even go back into that situation, but it's just representative of exactly what Alona is saying. Why is it that most of these creators can dish it out, but they can't fucking handle it? Why is that?
If you make a video about someone,
Why is that respected?
You talk about, you don't see the double standard in your own argument there, Peanut.
So tell me.
You talk about allowing people to have their opinions and stuff like that, but why can't they respond? That's what YouTube is built on at the end of the day. Fucking response videos. All right. You're moaning about being not allowed to have an opinion. Why are you sat there moaning about people coming and telling you their opinion?
Respond all day. It was the way that it was done. It was absolutely the way that it was done. Do you understand? And it was how it was done. There was so much dishonesty. If what was responded to was my actual words and feelings, then I could have respected that. But what was done was taking the narrative that these people, whoever on the other end, wanted and put on to me instead of what I was actually saying. There's quite a problem there when it's all dishonesty.
The problem is, though,
everything.
The problem is, it took me ages to figure out what your problem was.
Yeah, but that's not my problem. Right? It's because I even in DMs, Alex, you have to admit, even in DMs just before, I was talking very plainly to you. And no matter how many times I kept saying to you, it's not about the weight. It's about the fact that she lied and claimed she was skinny. You refused to understand that. But but that's what I'm saying to him.
If that is something she did, if that's something she did and it came out she isn't like that, I don't know. Like, I mean, you can pretend whoever you want to be on the internet, I suppose. But then again, if it comes out by your own fault, don't expect backlash. But let's again clarify, I don't think WhoIsShe ever got involved with that. I just really want to make that clear. I don't think she has any say in what happened on Twitter because it happened within like 20-30 minutes and it was gone.
As soon as she
clarify that, I don't want people to just go to her and give a shit.
As soon as she doxed herself, she has not yet shown herself online again. Not on YouTube, not on Twitter, nowhere. So no, she's not a part of it at all. But she was fanning the flames between her and Cupcake before that occurred. They had a back and forth just because, and here we'll talk about this instead of myself since it's more relevant. Cupcake Vegan, first, how this all began was she made a video where she was trying to pick apart the facts of the situation and talking about the facts of the false copyright claims on Jen's part and WhoIsShe's response to it. And people were not happy about that either, just because she was trying to sort it out and trying her best to be fair. So that's really where the hate train towards Cupcake Vegan began, just because it wasn't blind allegiance to the popular opinion. And see, while we are talking about this specific subject, I am so interested to talk about it on a larger scale. Always. Because it's a huge problem. And while it's happening here, it happens all over the place. And it seems, Alex, I'm going to say to you, because you're very much a part of the clique of people, it seems like you participate in it and encourage it to some degree.
If I see shit on Twitter, then nobody tells me what to do. I just act. You seem to have this idea that I'm a part of an evil cabal that's being run by Charlie and the rest of them. You couldn't be further from the fucking truth, to be honest with you. It's laughable that you have that kind of opinion. You think that I'm with them all. The majority of people in this fucking genre don't like me, right? Because we are politically opposed.
Dude, Alex, the only people that I hear that have any type of problem with you is because of your lack of standing up to the people who people feel like you disagree with for real, but just don't say it because you don't want to make waves. And listen, tell me if I'm wrong, but even in the live stream and talking to you, I saw hints of that. I saw hints where I was making headway and where you clearly were understanding exactly what I was saying, but you countered me back in defense of Charlie. And in my live stream, once I left in my live stream alone, I was very fair to you. And I said, hey, maybe, they're friends, give him some space. He's being a good friend. Maybe he knows something we don't. So he's treating her with kid gloves, la, la, la. But this just goes back to how I feel about things. If you're a true friend of somebody, you will tell them the truth about themselves to better themselves and the situation. Being a sycophant and telling people what they want to hear, that is not in their best interest ever. That makes them become a shell of a human being that thrives off that only. People should be comfortable with criticism, especially if you yourself are going to make your entire channel about criticizing others. I don't understand the thin skinness of it all.
Can I just interject there? Because there's a lot of people in the chat that seem to think that they're going on about fat people commenting on fat people. It's not about that. It's not about that. The problem that I have is that people get offended when they get heat themselves. So I don't mind if you're fat and you want to react to somebody else that's fat. That's fine. You're entitled to have your opinion. My contention is if people dish out criticism but they can't handle it, and that's especially as a reaction channel, especially as somebody on the internet, you need to have thick skin. And you could argue that maybe what Cupcake did, she shouldn't have done, because she's had to go away, leave the internet altogether because
she didn't have to.
She didn't have to. Well, she was kind of forced, though.
Not really. She wasn't even dogpiled that hard. To be honest, it's fucking pathetic. If I'm honest, I've been dogpiled much harder. All right, and I didn't delete my Twitter.
That's fine, but okay. Look, I get if you can't take it. It also goes for Cupcake. If she can't take it, she shouldn't have dished it. So, but it's not. That's the whole point in terms of everybody. So
can I just say in defense of Cupcake Vegan, I don't feel like she does dish it. She's not cruel. I don't feel like she's mean. I
do think it was like I said to her, I do think it was a bit of a dickish move. But again, she's allowed to. She wants to do that. That's fine,
But what's dickish about it? I think this is where you and I disagree. What do you think was dickish about it? Just the simple fact that she shared it, or what she said, or both?
No, I think it was more the way she worded it. I think if you're gonna be blatant about somebody's appearance, she did it.
What did she say? I don't even know.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it. It was hold on. So I don't know. I can't. No, I haven't got it. But it was something along the lines of that. WhoIsShe has a beautiful avatar. And she showed a picture of what she looked like for real, as well as the avatar, and basically insinuating that WhoIsShe isn't attractive. She didn't say it. She insinuated it. It's open to interpretation.
Come on, listen though. She's being factual. See, this is a problem that I have seriously. She's dealing in facts and truth. And insinuation is not the same as straight saying, hey, that bitch is fucking hideous. It's completely two different things. I think imposing, and I don't think anybody's saying that. Like, is anybody, Alex, have you criticized what she said, or you just criticized the fact that she did it, right?
Yeah,
no, people were criticizing.
I don't care if she was mean. Sorry to talk over you there. Say that again, sorry.
I don't think you did, but people definitely attacked Cupcake for having an opinion about somebody else in terms of their physical appearance. There was definitely there were a lot of people about the dogs and sharing the picture, but a lot of people were saying that it's inappropriate for a Cupcake to basically call somebody else ugly. But then the majority of our community, that's what they do. Right?
Yeah, and anyway,
if I might, Peanut, if I might be so bold.
What'd you say?
I was saying, if I might, I don't care if you call someone big, fat, ugly bastard.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I can assure you, I've been called much worse things. I've been called a nigger and a Nazi, which is always nice.
Alex,
I've been called much fucking worse things in my time on YouTube. Trust me, and I've had many fucking death threats. And I've been dogpiled by hundreds of fucking communists at the same time. It's not nice, but you know what? I'm the type of dude who just fucking fights everybody. I can't help it. You know, I shouldn't do it, but I just love it too much, I guess. I don't care if you make a video or a tweet calling someone a big fat ugly fucking knobber. Right, I don't care if you make fun of them for having messed up teeth, or if they're cross-eyed, or if they're a girl and they have a moustache. Right, I don't fucking care. Right, what my problem is the spreading of the fucking picture. I don't know why she did it. I can't even remember what it is she said with the tweet. To be perfectly honest, that's my problem. The spreading of that picture when her only desire was to remain anonymous. Now I can see why Peanut would go on and on about why it's hypocritical, because if you're overweight and you're criticizing someone for being fat, and you're specifically criticizing them for being overweight and not sticking to a diet and stuff like that, then yeah, sure.
Let him finish.
But she still desired to be anonymous. This is a problem that we had in the political genre as well, where people were being doxxed simply for their opinions.
But you know, the thing is, she doxed herself, though. That's the thing. Like, I agree that a dox is bad. I totally agree. But I still stand. I mean, we're starting to go around in circles, but my standpoint is still that if her anonymity was that precious to her, she should have taken better precautions to ensure she was remaining anonymous, right? I think she made an error on her part. Now, okay, it's fair enough to say, like, you shouldn't spread it because it's an error, but she made the decision to go online and she fucked up. So once it's out there, it's out there.
If I might
share it, go on.
If I might put things into perspective for you, just to kind of see what your opinion is. There is something that I used to tell people to do as a content creator. Funny enough, it's something that I told WhoIsShe the other day to do. For those who are unaware, if you go into your YouTube dashboard, there is a section under the community tab that allows you to ban words and phrases from your channel. Now, this is a great place to insert your docs, because then that way, if somebody does get a hold of your full docs and then they say it in your comment section, it won't come through, and you can just go through to the spam folder and delete it. It's a very, very good thing, in my humble opinion. Now, I'm a bit of an airhead from time to time, as most people know. And I decided to try and show people this on the live stream, completely forgetting that my full docs was in there. And I showed my full docs on the live stream to much more people than what this is, WhoIsShe was streaming to at the time. Now, obviously, I yeeted that live stream. I was very lucky that nobody grabbed a screenshot of it. Now, if somebody had and then posted it, would you take issue with it then, or not?
If you fuck up yourself, you're making a mistake. That it's like, how do I put it? The way I see it is, it's difficult to try and explain it, because I see it that you've made an error that you've allowed to go into the public. It's the same as that I'm vlogging in my house and I have paperwork laying out from my bank, showing my bank statement and showing my details. Now, should somebody screenshot that and post that, it's my fuck up, because I'm vlogging and I'm showing unintentionally other people. That's the way I look at it. Like, I get that nobody should be sharing that because it's not a nice thing to do. However, it wouldn't be there if it wasn't for my error. That's the way I'm looking at it. Unless I'm completely missing something, but
don't get me wrong.
That's my stance.
I absolutely agree with you. You know, WhoIsShe fucked
up.
Good. I'm not adverse to criticizing her, because I criticized her in the video that I made about Jen. I have no problem with that whatsoever. And yes, it's her fuck up. She fucked up. She should take responsibility for it. But I'm still of a mind that you do not contribute to the spreading of it.
Can I add something quickly?
Go on.
I want to say to you, Alex, do you agree with what I'm about to say right now, in the fact that I feel like you empathize with her because it's something that you've done? So in that sense, it makes you quite biased. And I think that's why Alona and myself feel differently, because it's not something that we've
I'm
ever
biased for what
allowed.
reason, Peanut?
A bias because you've done it yourself, and therefore you empathize with her position.
No, I still take that stance. You again, you're forgetting what community I come from originally.
It doesn't matter.
You'd be fucking raped in that genre for doing it. I thought about this long and hard last night, right? If I did it, I'd fully expect to get wrecked. Fully expect it.
But okay, so then let me, because you talked about a lot of the things that I said, but what you didn't mention is, do you not think that a creator they should be telling their audience when they come across somebody who is not being honest, who's a hypocrite, who's in the same realm that they are, that they could potentially be watching? You don't think that as a creator, it's incumbent upon you to let your audience know who's a bad actor in the space?
Well, which is the greater responsibility to you, Peanut? You know, having that level of mighty integrity to tell your audience
I think
how one creator is actually a fat ass and is a hypocrite, or bringing, or not bringing attention to
I think
malicious behavior.
Under the circumstances that because of everything, because it was her fault that she did it herself, because it was her face and not her address, and because of the kind of content that she was creating, the fact that she chose to call herself skinny when it was absolutely unnecessary to do so. Why did she call herself skinny? That's the thing. I don't know. The people in the chat were saying no, she didn't earlier on when you first said it. So I mean, Alex, go look at my Twitter. I put the recording up. I went to her video. I screen capped the clip. It's up there. My Twitter right now. Anybody who doesn't believe me.
Give me a minute then. Well, I mean, it's not really that important, but I will go listen.
I fell in the tub. I'm so skinny. My husband is even skinnier. Now listen, it is not about the fact that she's fat. It's not about anything. It's not about the fact that she's ugly.
You keep saying that, and I don't get what the issue is.
Are you serious? How do you not?
You keep calling her a hypocrite, so I can only assume it's because she's overweight.
Yes, but it's because she chose to call herself skinny for no reason. People can't see you. Why choose to lie that way? How do you not understand that when someone chooses to lie when they don't have to, it's completely unnecessary? It shows.
Are we sure it wasn't sarcasm?
Go and watch it, please.
All right. Calm down, Storms.
And I am absolutely, you forget, I'm familiar with her content. This is a common theme. She talked many times about how skinny she is and all the outfits she wears. She even lied about the color and texture of her hair and the color of her eyes. I hate it that I don't have her old content to back to.
Oh, God.
Please go watch it and then tell me.
I'm gonna have to jump out. I'll jump out of the hangout so I can actually listen to it. I'll jump back in after. If you could just kick me out of the hangout, and then I'll let you know when I'm ready to come back in.
Do I select remove from stream?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Oh, did you see it, Alona?
No, I haven't seen it. I've literally not seen any of her content, so I can't comment on that part. And she didn't get involved in this Cupcake drama. For me, it's more not necessarily the hypocrisy. I do think you should lead by example. I think if you are gonna criticize people on certain lifestyles, do lead by that example. However, I find it more frustrating when people within the community, they get attacked and they can't take the criticism from other people. Not whether or not, it's not even so much about them being fat or not. It's just about you can dish it out, but you can't take it. And that's something, and that everybody else has to come and attack. So if somebody calls me out or somebody says something to me, I don't want other people to come to my defense.
Oh, wait.
You know what I mean? Like, I want
He's ready to come back in. He's ready to come back in.
Okay. Add him back to stream. How was it, Alex? Was it worth the watch?
Not really, no. But yeah, she said that she was skinny. So I guess she was lying about it. Even though I've not seen her full body, but whatevs.
Are you seriously going to make me say that on live stream?
That's not the issue. You keep forgetting what the big issue is here. I don't care if she lied. I don't care if she's a hypocrite.
But
I don't give a shit.
Would you not crucify these other fat bitches for doing the exact same? It would be talked about all over the internet for the end of time, until the end of time. Why is there such a double standard?
Have you watched my video?
I do feel like there is somewhat of a double standard with having a certain opinion on Anne Boleyn and Chantal, and then if people do this, if you want to, I do think you should be able to take a criticism. If we're going to critique people for doing something stupid, whatever it may be, then you should be willing to take that critique as well. That's
no, as I said, I don't care about that. That's not what my issue is. That's why I was dragged in there in the bloody first place. I don't care if you want to call her a fat ass and a hypocrite and all that. Good. Fair enough. Right? The fucking face is out there now. You know, whatever. Right? And I assume that she'll maybe start doing face cam videos. Who knows? I don't care. I only care that her fucking picture was shared again. But you can huff and puff all you fucking like.
Because I don't understand how, because, you know, one of the biggest arguments, and even, I don't know if you made it, so I'm not going to say that you did, but one of the biggest arguments that is made on behalf of Amberlynn and Chantal is that they're terrible people. They're terrible people, so that's why they deserve for everything from their past to be constantly brought up and discussed constantly. But why doesn't the content of this person's character and the fact that they lied hold any weight in a similar situation?
Look, if you want to go do that, then go do it.
No, but I'm asking you because you have a different...
I don't need to do what you try to tell me to do. I don't need to make the content that you think I should make.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Like, if this was a case, if she had decided to do a face reveal instead of a dox, right? Instead of accidentally doxing herself, right? Then I might consider it.
Is it still a dox though? If she did it to herself?
Well, no, it's not a dox if you do it to you. Well, I mean, she did. It fell off by accident. Put a screenshot. To me, it's still doxing. If you go ahead and post it on Kiwi Farms and then go spread it again. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question. Would you feel differently?
It's a move, but it's not. I don't know. I still don't think. I think it's a fuck up on her part, and it's a shitty thing of Cupcake to share. But I still stand by that. WhoIsShe fucked up herself. We go. I don't know. We're just literally talking around the circle. So I don't know.
Alex,
if we should
be arbitrary. I said this would happen.
Alex, I have a question. Would you feel differently about what Cupcake did if she had not posted the picture, but had instead commented what she did, but instead just directed people who were interested to go to Kiwi Farms to see the picture?
Probably not. No.
You wouldn't feel differently.
Probably not, no.
Because that's how I would have done it. Had I been in her situation, that's how I would have done it. And you would have criticized me exactly the same way if I had done that?
Yeah. Again, I didn't accuse her of doxing. I accused her of spreading it. And not only lying, because she lied directly to me about where she got the picture from. We all know where you got the fucking picture from, Cupcake. All right.
What did she say?
Well, she said, I didn't get it from Kiwi Farm. Yes, you fucking did, Cupcake.
She told me that she screenshotted herself.
It wasn't her that grabbed the screenshot. If you go to and actually speak to WhoIsShe in the DMs, she showed me a comment that somebody left and who was bragging about the fact that they grabbed the screenshot. And I can only assume it was that person. Why would she take that screenshot anyway? If it was her, why would she take the screenshot?
I would have done the same. You would not have done the same?
No, because I'm not. I mean, I am an arsehole, but I'm not that much of an arsehole.
You were at odds.
I did the right thing. I went in her DMs and told her.
Yeah,
so I do agree with a lot of things. Like, you know, I do agree with a lot of things you say, Peanut. However, I don't think I would do it either because I just kind of, I mostly just stay in my lane. And, you know, if I want to talk about what I think and what other people are saying, it doesn't really bear a relevance. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because there seems to be a lot of confusion. I want to have an understanding of people's perception. And also, I just want to reiterate that Cupcake's mental well-being is not very good because of this. Now, you can argue she shouldn't have said it, and therefore she's reaping the repercussions. She should have had thicker skin. Nonetheless,
it's not even Alona. It's not even she shouldn't have said it. It's she shouldn't have done it. What she said is irrelevant. I don't think a lot of people are even concerned or care about what she said. It's what she did. It's the fact that she shared the picture. I think that's the main point of contention, especially with Alex. No.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the issue. And I mean, maybe, I guess a lot of people agree, even you agree, Alona, that that's fucked up. And I guess for me specifically, I'm learning something. I personally did not see that as a dox, and especially,
I don't think it is either. I just wouldn't do it because I just think it's just a cheap shot, in my opinion. It's literally like, that's, for example, if I am gonna react to Chantal sitting in a bikini and be like, my body's better than yours. Do you know, it's kind of like that, but not in that sort of way. So I think it's just the way it was done, I think is highly unnecessary. But again, I think if she was so serious about her security, she should have done a better job at it. She unveiled herself. I wouldn't have done that same thing, because for me to sit there and be like, oh yeah, I'm so hot and amazing and you're ugly, that's even though Cupcake didn't quite say it like that, but she was insinuating basically your avatar's pretty and you're ugly, which is fine. She's allowed to say that, freedom of speech. It's just, I wouldn't personally go about saying it like that. If I had a problem with somebody, I would do it a different way, if that makes sense. So I agree with both of you in certain areas. It's just, I know, I have my own point of view as well.
No, I agree. I agree with everything you're saying. Also, I think the only thing that's different here is that I understand, and maybe I don't even know, because I'm attributing her motives to what my motives would have been. I don't even know if those were her motives. My motives would have been, the reason why I would have shared it had I been in her position would be to just share the fact that she's a bad actor, that she can't be trusted. I think
I don't know her content at all. So
Alona, you don't have to know. You don't have to know her content. All you have to do is see her picture and see the short clip I posted on my Twitter and the video that's still up on her channel now of her telling people that she's skinny for no reason at all. It's not like she was asked. It's not like it's a necessary thing. What kind of a person, for no reason at all, would say, oh, and I'm skinny and my husband's so skinny, when they're making content criticizing other fat people? I don't know about you, but that raises some really serious red flags when it comes to what her character is and her motives for what she's doing. I think that matters. I don't know about anybody else, but that really matters a lot to me.
Wait, I see that. That's just the internet. That is literally the same as, I get kind of what you're saying. It's a dumb thing to do. However, I get tons of people, not tons, but I get every day people in my comment section calling me a man, saying that I'm a fucking steroid abuser with no avatars. It's no different from that. The only difference is they make videos reacting to me, but I have to allow these people to talk to me, right? So if that's more my contention, is like, if you want to call, like, most people pretend to be somebody they're not. Most creators are pretending to be somebody they're not, even though they show their face. They pretend to be all nice and they're fake as shit. I think that's just part of the internet. I'm not saying that I am or that you guys are. I think we're all very fair people, and I think this is.
Oh no, I'm an arsehole in real life as well. Just FYI.
But that's fine. At least you're not. That's fine. Like, at least you're yourself, right? You don't pretend to be somebody, but you're not. But I think pretending to be somebody you're not is just part of internet culture. Whether that's behind your real face or an avatar, like, to me that makes no difference. It's just a bit dumb if you come out to be somebody that you're not. That's just an unfortunate series of events. But pretending to be somebody you're not, that is internet culture.
I think that's a huge issue for me. All over the place.
Yeah, but then you can't. That's something you can't control, though, because
of course
I think that the majority of people that comment on your comment section are probably not who they pretend to be. It's just one of those things that's part of internet. So I get where you're coming from a moral standpoint. And having integrity, like, that's not a cool thing to do because it's not something you would do. But there's a lot of things that you probably wouldn't do that other people do. And it's not an illegal thing to do. I just think that WhoIsShe should have just been a lot more cautious. If she was that concerned with her safety, she should have taken the utmost measurements to make sure she stays anonymous. And she didn't. And yeah, you shouldn't necessarily share that information, but at the same time, I don't know. Is that different from, for example, people phoning up and calling the police on Chantel because she's been going out of her house? Should you do that? Should you not? Maybe it's a different thing altogether. I don't know. Like,
I think it's
but
very
it's just like,
different. I
yeah,
think it's very different.
maybe.
I think if someone did that to Chantel, I think that's far worse. I think
But
it's
it's not. It's just, yeah. It's not even about that. It's just about, I don't know. I feel like I'm repeating myself, so I don't know. I've basically pretty much said what I want to say. I think she fucked up. Cupcake shouldn't have shared it. Cupcake did apologize. Let's make that clear. She did apologize. She did a shitty thing. She apologized. I can assure you she's not in the best mental state. And I do think there is a level of hypocrisy, not necessarily coming from WhoIsShe, but within the community itself, that people can dish it but can't take it. And it's nothing to do with whether you're fat or not. It has nothing to do with that. It's just in general, people block comments, and people just, if you say something to somebody within the community, other people will attack. And I don't know. I guess if I'm in a fight with somebody, I want to be in a fight with somebody alone. I don't need anybody else to protect me. So that's just where I stand. I feel like I have got somewhat of a better understanding. I'm still kind of on the same standpoint, but I do feel I do appreciate like what you've said, Alex. Like I do feel I've seen a different side of it, and like I know where you stand, Peanut. You have your intrinsic values and morals, and you're quite hard to budge from that, because I think you're kind of like black and white and not necessarily always grey. I don't know if anybody else wants to say anything, because I think we're not really going to come to an end here.
I mean, I'm upset that you think that I'm black and white about things. I said that learning Alex's feelings about things, and just also yours, I said I am changing the way that I feel. True, I know that I should work on changing the way that I feel about it, because I personally, at first glance, I did not feel like the facial was a big deal. But if others, if the majority does, then I am the kind of person where I know that I should take a step back and probably re-examine that. I absolutely know that.
That's fair. That's fair. And I think I perhaps was originally in the same boat as you as well, to a degree, that I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, a picture, because it is just a picture. But I can also understand where people are coming from. But then I'm still at the point of she did it to herself. So,
but should Cupcake Vegan be forgiven for it? I think that's the main point. I think she should be forgiven for it. No,
she apologized. I don't know. What do you think, Alex?
Is this question directed at me? Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had never even spoken to Cupcake Vegan up until this happened. It made its way into my feed like most other shit, like the fucking maps and zoo files I've been fighting with today. It's not a case of forgiveness. I wasn't her friend. I didn't follow her. I didn't watch her content. I just saw something that I disagreed with and called it out, like I do every day with random different topics being argued with. As far as I'm aware, she wasn't even jumped on by that many people. I didn't see any of the larger creators in the community jump on her. I saw them I saw a couple of people being indirectly passive aggressive, but not immediately directly attacking, I suppose would be the term. I mean, she wasn't my friend. It's not a case of forgiveness.
Yeah, but she's not mine.
To me, it's done. To me, it's done. It's dusted, and that's what it is.
Alex, I just want to make it clear. Her and I are not friends. Her and I have never spoken either. But so you don't think that she should be given a second chance after making a mistake like that?
I didn't say that, did I?
No, but I'm asking.
Thank you for putting the words in my mouth there, Pete.
No,
it's always nice. No, to me, it's done. To me, it's done. It's done and dusted. If she wants to come and have a chat with me, then we can do that. It's not a problem. But it's not a case of me forgiving her. I don't know her. She's not my friend. If the overarching community as a monolith, which I am a part of it, but I'm not You seem to think that I'm a part of this cabal,
No, Alex,
that I'm told what to instructed and sent out
Alex,
to carry out missions on behalf of Charlie Gold and Michael B. Pesci. That's not the case.
Alex,
I can assure you of that.
I'm asking you personally, what do you, if, let's just say, you as a viewer, as someone who's not friends, do you forgive her? Are you as a person willing to give someone who has made a mistake like that a second chance? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, but you had to give someone a first chance in order to give them a second chance. I didn't watch her content. I wasn't subscribed to her. I'm still not subscribed to her. I didn't follow her. I'd never even spoken to her up until that point. She followed me, I know that much. If she wants to carry on, come back to Twitter and do all that, then I'm not going to attempt to stop her. Not that I could stop her, you know, or even if I wanted to express my opinions, again, when I see no reason to do so. She knows how I feel. That's the end of it. That's where it ends. You know, I had my little Barney with her. End of fucking discussion. If anybody else wants to carry on, then that's up to them. It's not a case of forgiveness, right? Trust me. I will say this straight up right now. There are people in this community who you probably think that I get on with, and that I like, and I'm cushy with. But I can assure you, there are some people in this community that I do not fucking like at all, and they know that I don't like them. Right. And they don't like me, and I choose not to engage in that fight because it just didn't carry on. So that's it, you know. You can get involved in as much drama and as much blood sports as you damn well please. That's up to you. I choose not to do that. I've got bigger issues to deal with myself.
Yeah, no, and I just want to, I'm glad we did this stream, especially since during this conversation, I learned especially why you are so passionate about this topic, Alex. And it taught me,
the way you talk,
what?
The way you talk, especially you, Alex.
Because you showed me why. I didn't understand why you're so passionate about it, but you showed me why.
As if I fucking went off on a gigantic tangent. What was it? 3 quote tweets?
That was it. See this, dude. I'm going off by what I was told and how Cupcake Vegan herself feels. So that's what I'm going off of. I missed the whole thing.
If I had made a video, if I had immediately turned the camera on, you know, and gone from 0 to 100 in my video, then maybe you can put some weight behind what you just said. But there's a couple of quote tweets. Come on,
dude. Thank you so much. I love that you did that impression of my voice instead of a ratchety cigarette smoking cupcake. So thank you for that. It was so entertaining.
Well, I did a better impression on the first stream. I feel I can't do your accent. It's the New York one. It's too difficult. Can't imitate it.
The voice is what got me.
I swear to fucking God, guys, we're gonna make a fucking video.
Fuck you.
You sounded northern, almost.
I don't think that Cupcake should be as upset as she is. I really don't.
No, I
get why she is.
I think if you're going to be on the internet and you're going to have opinions, you should also have a tougher skin. I do agree, but it has upset her. So, you know, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying she is very upset with it, and I don't know if there is a way that she could potentially redeem herself in the eyes of others. If she has to redeem herself. I was just trying to more get understanding of just what happened if it was a true doxing or not, in that as in the definition of what a doxing is. And I think we are still
some
agreement, but not quite. Which is fine. It's good to have a discussion.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I do agree that absolutely none of us, not me, not either of you, not this. I keep fucking name annoys me, right? So much. Who is she? Right, change your name. The name's stupid. Fucking, I always love. It winds me up something fierce. Have a name. Name yourself after an animal, like the rest of the people with avatars. Fuck. No. She absolutely fucked up. 100%. Absolutely. Yeah. She should take responsibility for that. I criticized it in my video I made about Jen. people seem to think that it was aimed at Jen, but it wasn't. The way that I see it is that she's done her apology, and that's it now. That's done. And I feel that Cupcake were perhaps a little bit maybe too sensitive about it. I don't know. I'm not her. I don't. Maybe it's her first experience with this kind of thing. I get the first experience is never nice. I've been there before. It's not nice, man. I've been jumped on loads of times. I've had shit tons of death threats in my time. Trust me. And I've had it off of all fucking sides. I've had it from the alt-right, you know, calling me a nigger and a half-breed and all these words, you know. I've been called a Nazi and a fucking fascist. There's not many creative terms that you can use that haven't been used against me. And as I said, like I got into it. I defended Chris Ray Gun once. Next thing you know, I'm being shit on by 200 plus fucking communists on Twitter. And one of them was a fairly big Twitter account. I forget the girl's name. She used to parody feminists or whatever, but she was a fairly big account.
Shoe had?
No, it wasn't Shoe. Although me and Shoe have butted heads before, trust me. Not that she was very nice to shout out my Amos E video, but Cupcake should just come back. And you know what? If the rest of the creators in the genre have an issue with it, then that's their problem. As I said, we are not a monolith. Well, I mean, them lot might be. I don't know. For all I know, they could have their own private Discord server or private DM group. I'm not a part of it.
I know, but Alex, you have to admit that if you had come on, and I'm not saying you should do it for that reason, but I'm just saying, I think everybody knows, most creators know that if you had, when I asked you that question, if you had said, you know what, yes, I think she deserves a second chance, that just that answer alone would have influenced a lot of people who respect you and follow you.
Well, I mean, there weren't that many people that jumped on her. That's the way that I see it. It wasn't even that many, and I took issue with it. I suppose I entered this community last October, did I not? And I have obviously changed a few things about my own person and stuff. I've kind of changed a couple of stances politically, but you know, I still have very strong feelings and values that surround anonymity on the internet. When I see stuff like that, I call it out. And as I said, I don't care who you are, how many subscribers you have. I'm going to fucking jump on you. But at the end of the day, I didn't go nuts like whoever came to you.
I think the reason to have you for myself, I want to have this discussion with somebody else in the community, to understand what the problem is with the dogs. I'm just going to repeat myself again, but that's, I think, do you see, like, I think there's a lot of semantics that we're getting into. And as an overarching, I was just trying to have just a general discussion. The discussion was A, was it a dox if it was self-inflicted? And B, people did attack Cupcake Vegan for what she was saying was nasty, but then we as a community, we say nasty things ourselves. So that's you know.
Do you feel like you got out of this stream what you intended to or what you wanted to?
Yeah, because I wanted to have a discussion, and I think it is important to have a discussion so that people, because as viewers, I'm sure people have hear through the grapevine what's going on. I think it's good to lay out what happened, and I think it's good for people just get a better picture of what happened. And it's good to have different opinions, because I don't mind people having different opinions. I think it's very important to talk to each other, regardless of what your opinions are. I'm allowed to disagree. You're allowed to agree, and I think at some points we've all found common ground, and I think that's important at the end of the day. But it's just more hashing out. I think for me, more like understanding internet culture, perhaps understanding YouTube culture, because there's some things, like, I've not been doing this for so long, so perhaps like yourself, like, I didn't necessarily understand the implications, but then I'm also of defense of, like, well, if it is that important to you, you need to be safer with it. So
I think we all agree on that, though. I think we always have.
I would also say, in reference to what you said earlier, that I tell my audience on a regular basis to not just agree with me, to not just to believe the things that I say, to not stand me. That shit pisses me off. You're individuals. Go figure it out for yourself and disagree with me if you. I know it does. I know that it does, and there are arguments, you know, that creators have responsibility. I genuinely don't subscribe to that school of thought, though. If I say something, disagree with me if you disagree. My audience knows it. My audience fights with me all the time. I fight with my own audience in my own Discord server.
I think that's good. You have to have a discussion, but the thing is, from somebody like I was on Twitter, and frankly, I had to come off it because it is. I find it is a very negative place to be, and I look at it way too much, and it's like I don't want to have my spare time seeing who's tweeting who and who's subtweeting who, and where is it. Like that's what I end up doing. So I'm just like, fuck it, I haven't got time for that shit. But there is, I think, cancer. Yeah, and I think it's important to just have discussions. And the problem is, though, as an influencer, people are going to blindly follow you, and people are going to blindly defend you without necessarily seeing all points of the story. And I think that's probably kind of what I wanted to try and do here, because I have spoken to Cupcake, and I know she's not feeling well, and I have seen parts of what's gone down. And, you know, I'm not saying, yeah, I'm just going to repeat myself, so I'm just going to shut up now.
a lot of chat are asking to bring in DC Media Girl. I don't wish to put you on the spot. It's completely up to you if you want to invite her in. I imagine she probably, because she was involved in it as well and has her own take. If you wanted me to jump out and swap out with DC Media Girl, then that's completely fine.
Well, I personally have to like go to bed soon because it's like way past my bedtime. I'm like a grandma. I get up at 4 o'clock every day. But honestly, if DC Media Girl, like I do follow her, I watch her content. I appreciate what she says. So if people want to have a further discussion, I'm more than happy to have another discussion with somebody else, because I am definitely willing to learn. I'm not claiming to know it all. I can be quite black and white in some of my views. For example, I do think I think she fucked up. It's her own mistake. But Cupcake, she did a shitty thing too. But besides that point, if people want to have a further discussion, I think I'm happy to do it at some other time if other people are. And then, you know, it's a healthy thing to do. Whether we come to a solution or not, it doesn't really matter. It's important for people to see different opinions and just make their own opinions based on it, not just on the opinion of one person putting out a tweet. And I feel like that is kind of what's happening. Not, you know, even though this is just, again, everybody's going to have opinions, and that's fine. But the more opinions are being shared on an issue, then people can sort of make their own decisions, as opposed to just hearing whispers through the grapevine and things getting completely twisted. Because I'm sure this is what's going to happen probably.
And to be honest, I don't mind if it gets heated. My friend Ranting Monkey and we rip each other's balls off on live streams. We call each other every name under the sun as well, and we go for it. And you know what? Sometimes that's needed too. And I feel like you should probably end the live stream here if you do need to go to bed.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Have you got anything else? Do you want to finish with Peanut?
No, I'm done. I have nothing more to say. I think I've said everything I wanted to. I feel like I learned a lot. And I honestly, I'm glad that we did this also, because I am judging you far less, Alex, because I learned that your reasoning is quite a noble cause. So I respect that. I can acknowledge that. And I'm glad for that sake that we did this.
Take my dick out of your mouth, Peanut. Come on.
Fuck you. Being honest is different than dick suckery.
Oh, come on.
All right. Well, I think I've seen DC Media Girl is in the chat. If other people want to continue this conversation with other people to be involved, pardon me, I'm more than happy to arrange it. Probably not tomorrow though, because I don't know if I can do this 2 days in a row. It's quite tiring, isn't it? But I'm more than happy to set something up. So just message me like on Instagram or email me. My email is my first name, my last name @gmail.com. So
cool.
All right, cool. Well, in that case, I guess I'll leave you guys to it. I thank you, everybody that's been in the chat. I appreciate all your input. I have been looking at it, and there might be a follow-up, there might not be, but at least if people have heard of what's going on, they can refer to this chat and they know exactly what happened, because people have disappeared off social media. So there's that.
All right.
Tell
Good night.
Cupcake
Good
to
night,
come back
everyone,
to
and
Twitter.
sleep well.
All right. Sorry, what did you say, Peanut?
Tell
I
Cupcake
said
to come back. Oh, sorry. Wait, you're talking to
Sorry.
me. I'm tired. Leave me alone. I've got brain damage. Stop bullying me.
All right. Bye, guys. I just said good night. Bye.
Oh, okay, cool.
Make sure you press the stop streaming button.
Where is
Okay,
it?
is that what, end broadcast?
Yeah, end broadcast. Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
bye.
yeah.
Oh, hold on. Oh, my computer's doing all fine. End broadcast. All right. Bye.